Welcome to the Financial Planners Southeast Asia podcast, a show dedicated to driving the positive evolution of financial advice, specifically within Southeast Asia. To join a global community of financial advisors sharing and learning with one another to drive the positive evolution of financial advice, head to xyadvisor.com.
Welcome to another episode of the Financial Advisor Southeast Asian podcast. Gwen here, and today we have a financial advisor from Coreplus Advisory, that's in Malaysia, who is passionate about helping her clients with their financial objectives and goals, and she uses her strong analytical skills in order to deliver the best advice possible. Let's give it up for Jovie Lim. Hi, Jovie.
Hi, Gwen. Yes, thanks for having me here today, and I hope you and everyone who is listening today are doing great. Yes?
Yes, and the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for being here. Now, Jovie, so we've just actually met earlier, like a few minutes ago. So, yeah. And so this is... And I've been meaning to ask this to all of my guests because it's very interesting to see where you started. So I'd like to know how long have you been in the financial advice industry?
So basically, I personally currently with this license as a licensed financial planner with Coreplus Advisory. Licensed financial firms under the security commissions for almost like 6 years in this industry, and with this company. And I'm also the registered financial planner with accounting and finance background.
Wonderful.
So,
So 6 years in the industry.
6 years, in this industry, in this line,
Yes, but I know, like in Malaysia, you have to have like a certain number of years that you're already part of like the finance industry, right? Before you get into financial advice. So you've had plenty of experience with regards to this space. So, but how did you get into financial advice?
Okay, so I started in whereby I in this financial plannings. Previously, if you know my understand my background, I have been in financial service for about 15 years as an external and internal auditor for listed companies and multi corporations. And my last position was head of internal audit. So why I came about this career path is when I 6 years ago, when I conceived my daughter, and I was looking for a career with more flexible working hours. So that's how I started. Because my previous career as an internal auditor, I required travel a lot, and there's a long working hours. So then I started to think, why not I venture into financial planning? As I can manage my own time. And at the same time, I can manage my personal financial planning and investment as well. So there I started to explore more information and to find the right path of financial planning included getting the right knowledge, certifications, the license. In Malaysia, we need to have the license to be a financial planner. And also to the extent to find a good mentor that can, can guide you along the way. And I think it's important because in our line, especially you started fresh at beginning, you need to know your progress, whether you are on the right track or not. So you have to keep monitor whether, so far, because I started from scratch, so I need to know from time to time the progress, and I always check with my mentor. A part of the knowledge you have and also the qualifications or even the license you have, I also do extra work on finding how's my progress as a financial planner.
Yeah, I definitely agree that because you're new to the industry, you have to have someone who's there, not only
Yes,
like coaching you on, but also
correct, correct.
checking like the progress that you're making. And I'm curious, like, how did you go about finding your mentor? Do you still have the same mentor that you had
Yes,
before?
yes,
Ah, okay. So
yes.
did you like happen to get?
No, basically it's actually, I engage a financial planner. So I engaged because
Mm,
previously when I was an internal auditor, I was
mm,
busy with my own career, corporate career. So I have no time to plan for my own personal financial planning. So I engaged with a financial planner so that she is the one who helped me to run all my personal investment and my personal financial planning as well. So that time, she always quite positive and always very look forward that she always tell me that Jovie, you are one of the qualities so-called a financial planner if one day you will want to become one. So that's how it triggered me to think about it when I want to have flexible working hours because you can manage your time yourself when you have your own when you as a financial planner for your own own companies and etc.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, never mind. Yeah. So from there, and this person has been in this financial planning for almost 20 years. So yeah, so from there, I started to explore and understand better about this career. Then I even joined her for the team as a financial planner, and she also be my mentor as well at the same time.
all right, wonderful. So I'm glad to know that your mentor is someone you already know and that you already trust for because she was your financial planner for a good number of years. And then when you joined the industry, she was also the one who helped you get
Yes.
into getting your feet wet. That is so. Like,
Yes.
did
So
you plan to get mentorship from her, or was it like?
it's not something official, but
Mm,
it is in a way I joined her company. Yes, we work as a team, and I am quite blessed in a way that we have this kind of so-called understanding, and then that's how I progress quite fast. And other than that, besides a mentor guiding me at the beginning stage of my financial planning career, I'm also quite lucky enough to have a strong financial background knowledge because of my previous career as a head of internal audit. And because you see, it's quite similar in a way that the career background in my previous as an internal auditor and also at the current position as a financial planner. As an auditor, previously I helped corporate companies to look into effectiveness, efficiency of internal control, and also risk management, corporate governance, and other financial analysis as a corporate aspect. But now, as a licensed financial planner, my role is more to narrow down to a client personal financial planning and their goals. So I'm quite blessed because in my strong financial knowledge, I also able to help my clients not only to their personal financial goals, but also their own businesses. For instance, like those who runs their own business, sometimes they would ask in a casual talk or casual conversations, like ask about my opinions about how their business management or their current internal controls of their companies, whether they are, doing okay or not, and etc. Which I can value add to give them some of so-called suggestions to that point, which they really appreciate.
Yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, so this will be like the add-on, so-called add-on values other than doing the personal financial planners part. This will be like so-called for their bonus law. Is for their
Yeah.
bonus, yeah, to have that kind of advices, which during our casual sharings, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true because if you have clients who are actually business people, it's normal for them to integrate their like
Yes.
personal finance or even like the mindset that they have with regards to finances, personally and in their business as well. So
Yeah.
if you are able to change their minds or their habits in their personal finance space, they'll definitely, use that knowledge as well to help
Yes.
their business and so on and so forth. And talking about clients, now that you are 6 years here in the industry,
Yes.
have you formulated your ideal client?
I don't have sort a particular clients, but by my, I would say I would categorize my clients in three categories. Some are at the beginning stage of entering the working force or working environment. These are the groups of young youth, like just finished their so-called their universities
Yeah.
and now moving forward to working life. Okay, and then the second group of people are those in the is a more mature in between around 30s to 40s group. Yeah, the age of that, which they already in this so-called in the working force for quite some times.
Yeah.
And another last part will be the around 50 to 60s, above slightly 60s. Yeah, age of people. They're already almost in the retirement stage.
The retirement phases of their lives. So, are there like because you're handling clients at all these three stages, like are there a stark difference between each stage, or is it just like very organic for you to jump from one like
I think I would say those who started with me early when they just started to work up to now, they even so-called some already in the midst of mature like working adults already, and of course there are some start with like late age and etc. I mean it's quite how to say quite wide, but I think the things that interesting is I have a group of clients which I just now shared with you. Most of them are business owner. Okay, so they are like those small medium enterprise bosses. Yeah, so they also like I think they quite like to how to say meet up with me for sharings and etc. Because besides I can help them to plan their personal financial planning. They also like to listen from my side on how far they has gone to in managing their own business. This is quite a unique so-called relations lah.
Yeah.
I would say that, but it indirectly add-ons so-called is plus points for myself and also for them as well. It's a win-win situations where I can give them what they feel they are lacking of last to certain time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, I can give you like I have clients that probably also in is a business owner, and sometimes they have some doubts on whether if they have a grant, for example, a grants that they receive from government, maybe 200K, for example. What are they going to do with this money? Okay, so they will suggest to me and they will ask me, Jovie, how about you manage for me this money? You know, the 200 thousands extra, which they feel that currently they are not so-called the companies still has not planned to do anything with this money yet. So what is the best resource or the best way that they can channel to? So, and of course, usually I will start with understand them first, the current situation, like whether your company is still serving your business loan or etc. If the business loan interest is higher than so-called whatever investment platform that can provide to you, I think it's very wise for you to settle the so-called the business loan first, which maybe comprise about 16 to 18% of interest per annum, which is quite high. You will never do business just to serve the loan only to break even. You are doing business is to be sustainable and also to earn profit, so your company can move forward to expand better. That kind of like advisor sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's very tricky, right? Because you're also and you have to make sure that the advice that you give is sustainable, not only to them on their personal finance, but in their business as well. Now, and I'm curious, like, how did this start? Having clients that are also business owners, like, were you able to just smoothly transition into like having them to open up their business finance with you, or
yes. So in a way, because once you understand a particular client in more deeper manner, they will start to be more transparent to you. Like, they are more open up to you in sharing not only their personal financial status, but also to treat in my current company's position right now, their cash flow management, and etc. So from there, I also able to provide another service like, why not? After analyzing your company's cash flow and etc., probably with the extra excess money, after probably a channel to paying loan and etc., you can consider other options that is appropriate for the business and for the company. Yes. So this will be, it is like, they sometimes they don't even think so far or think so details in a way, but just because we keep on open up their mind, they even start to share more to you and be more transparent, and that's how the trust built between me and my client. It's progress naturally on that way.
Yeah, that's great. And I guess it's because you've had this relationship with them, you've had a good relationship with them, and then they also see the value that you're giving to them and their personal finance, that they're able to transition to sharing their business and their business goals and the problems that they're facing in their business as well to you, because they know that you can be trusted to provide really sound advice. Now, and that's very good, because I want to transition to this. So how are you acquiring clients now, 6 years in? Is it more on the referral side, or are you still doing some marketing to promote your business?
From my mind will be more on referral side, and of course, because of my so-called active in giving talks and financial planning sharings to universities, to some of the NGOs, and even being invited to clients' corporate company for giving talk to their staff, their employees, and then from there, my business indirectly grow in that manner as well. So how to say, I will put it in at beginning is intent to share with my clients and individually, and of course once I build the trust, they have more confidence on me, they will refer more friends and probably to me, and also other clients to me, and also in a way that they also invite me to give talk or sharings to their companies. Then from there, their employees also being educated the awareness of importance of financial plannings and etc. So they also come forwards to me for their financial planning as well. So yeah, this is how it works lah. And of course, especially last year, me and the team of financial planners, we do something like community work. Not mainly about community. It's more on sharings of awareness of on importance how to manage your finance, especially during pandemic. Okay, how to go through the difficult times, especially when you face all these challenges and crises. And also, I personally, because my background as internal auditor, I also give talk and sharings on investment or financial scam. So from there, I have like indirectly, when I give more, I think in returns it come in a way that it's a blessing that people get to know me better, how I do things, and how so the trust was being built even faster.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with you. Like, the more that you share and put out to the world, the more that you actually receive something in return. And it's basing on your story, it's like a domino effect. Like, whenever you share something, so it goes on and it creates like a even bigger impact, and it returns back to you as a client or as a referral. So that's really good.
Yes, but of course, when I do all these talks, quite a numbers of talks, I never expect anything in returns lah, because it's just a sharing. Especially, I understand during the difficult times, people are during pandemic, especially people are emotionally, financially exhausted, and they really need something positive that they can learn and look forward. And that's from there they can move on the right path to manage their financial better. Yes, so this is how I look at it.
And I'm really glad that you mentioned that as well, because I've seen a lot of financial advisors, giving talks, sharing their best practices, especially during this pandemic. And I really admire that, because there are a lot of people out there who are, the pandemic has provided, although some people, positive impact in their finances and their business, but there are also these people in the opposite part of the spectrum who had lost their jobs, or were really struggling with their business, or if they had to close their business because of the pandemic, and maybe they wanted to get financial advice, but it's has become a struggle for them to do that lately. But here in, like, I'm sure it's the same there in Malaysia, but here in the Philippines, we always say that financial advice is not only for rich people, it's especially important in with people in the middle class, because it's your ticket to getting looking at your finances and making sure that you're on the right track.
Yes, I'm totally agree with you. Yes, sure. Yeah, it's every walk of people, every walk of life, and every level of people that, especially during pandemic, it's just like something hit them. It's it's like a wake up call for most of the people, because they always feel that there's always a sunny day all the time until these things, this so-called crisis hit them, and then they just have to really pick up fast, and some even still struggling in overcoming the crisis.
But for you, is business doing well for you during this time, or are you also seeing that there is like a dip in how the clients are coming to your door?
Okay, I would say especially during pandemic started since last year in Malaysia, especially in March 2020. So I would say I think the whole my last year's performance in terms of business, it's a how to say it's a so-called quite surprised me in a way that my business tripled up.
Oh,
Yeah. So I wouldn't take it so negative. Of course, the pandemics comes to us. We cannot control, right? But I
Yes.
always look at the positive side. There's always a saying that in the midst of crisis, there's always opportunities. But opportunities is not like how you go and how drill people for the opportunities, but rather when you look at the challenge as a positive challenge, you intend to work things out better in a way. Yeah.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah. So I keep on calling my clients during pandemics, especially when I couldn't even reach them physically. So what I did is I make appointments with my clients on Zoom.
Yes.
Okay, not every clients are doing well, definitely, but for me, I never like pick my clients like or those who are rich only we call, and those who are not doing well we just how to say abandon them for a while. No,
Yeah.
I call most of my clients, especially those are not doing well. So during these difficult times, I give them coaching, going through the hardship with proper advisory to them, so they're able to cope, and some even can manage it well, and now it's doing fine. So these are the things that I think I'm more happy that I can able to help them in a way, going through so-called these difficult times with them, rather than those that already very rich, and then they just say, oh, now is the investment buying time because all the prices are low. That also I did. They also keep in touch with me. So that is how I even in both ways I also manage them in differently. But so for those who have excess cash, they want to top up, they want to invest more, or maybe a better portfolio for them. They ask me to help them to plan, which is a good sign. But those who are not doing well, I even help them to going through their cash flow, readjust their cash flow, how to set priorities, which is more important during this crisis.
Yes.
Yeah, helping them to identify their so-called their financial strength, which they are very appreciate when they're able to go through their business crisis or personal crisis in terms of financial management. Yep.
Yes, and I think it's really important to have like a financial advisor with you during these crises, because some people find it like it's the end of the world because like the markets are crashing, and but if you have a financial advisor at your side, they can financial advisors can actually check your finances and see like, oh, it isn't really that bad for you. You are in the best opportunity to like provide them a peace of mind that
or help them to restructure, because they have been in so-called in this pace for so long. Before pandemic, there's a certain way of doing things, but during pandemic we have to do things differently already.
Yes,
it is more on priority settings, which is more important. And also there's a group of people that maybe some of the clients that are also want to earn desperate money, quick money. Some even falls into this investment scam.
Yes.
Yeah, so I keep on educate them. Don't ever look things in short term and want to earn money in a very fast pace. I think there's no free lunch in this world, really. So you just have to be careful when things is too good to be true.
Yes, that is true. That's true.
Yeah. So
I definitely agree.
Yeah, so these are the things that what I have gone through with them for the during the difficult times. But I think I would say it makes me more uh, uh, I feel more meaningful in a way that I'm able to do going through this tough time with them. It makes my job even more meaningful and with a very good purpose as a financial planner. Yeah.
Yes, I definitely agree because, as I mentioned earlier, it's really nice to be in a person's life, in your client's life, because you have the opportunity to either give them peace of mind or help them restructure, or giving them hope that that there's always a way to turn things around, and because like for every one of us, finances is always like the biggest headache.
Yes.
It's a very important part of our lives that we tend to overlook, or sometimes we tend to exaggerate, and that's why we need someone who is level-headed, who's able to check it out and help us out. So, and I'm very happy that you keep on getting in touch with your clients, especially during the pandemic. How do you how often do you meet your client in a year?
I make it as a practice. Like those, I have proactive clients.
That's good.
Those proactive clients usually will meet me if, let's say, there's no pandemic. Usually they will want to have coffee session with me. It's like 3 months once. Those are active ones, especially those so-called the business owner.
Yes.
But for those who are earning like employees' income, those are quite quiet type. Usually, at least I will meet the half yearly basis. I will schedule. I have a schedule or list of my clients that I will upfront group them accordingly, and I will meet them session by sessions. Of course, definitely individually, but if those with husband and wife, it depends on whether they want to meet it personally, individual, or if they are comfortable to meet as a family plan, they will meet the family in a group basis.
Oh, so that's interesting. So you have couples who prefer to meet individually, and you also have that's interesting. How does that go?
Yes. So financial planning, talking about financial, sometimes talk about money is very sensitive, right? So there are probably cases where husband and wife, they have a shared so-called financial planning for the kids' educations, for their own retirements as a family. But there are some that they feel individual planning as well, meaning that even they are in a family, but other than their children's educations, they personally want to have their own personal funds.
That's very interesting.
That for them, their objective is mainly just for emergency. What they put it in an emergency way lah. But I feel mostly sometimes they just don't want their partners to know they have this extra so-called funds that they have in the event if that they need the kind of money they needed, then they can have their own money to get the things they want and etc.
So but that's very tricky. So as a financial advisor, you advise both the husband and the wife individually, and they also have I guess they will also have a certain meeting with you where they are together to discuss like family finance.
Yes. That's because everyone's are unique. That's the thing. The interesting part of financial planning is because everyone has their own story and everyone has their own case study. There is no fixed planning for everyone, every individual. I mean, there's no fixed plannings. A standard planning for all my clients. No, it's a very tailor-made. Each and everyone are unique, and then they have different objectives, different goals in their mind, and then they want certain things. You see, family itself, they also want a different things. So everyone, what they want and what they plan in their future and what their lifestyle totally different, because we cannot just fix one plan to everyone. It just doesn't fit that. So everyone has their tailor-made, and based on the resources they have, whatever resources they have, we try to put in a way, make their resources, plan their resources efficiently with the resources they have.
Yes, and
so they can sustain more. I mean, it can be sustainable in future. Yes,
and so does that mean that you have an ongoing service package for each of your clients, or do you like offer them a certain type of package when they're in this stage?
So of course, in terms of fees, we have like individual charging fees and also the family group fees. This is quite normal, I think, to all financial planner. But in terms of package, it's more on I tailor-made on each and every client by understanding what's their needs first, and whatever resources they have, from there I help them to plan accordingly on based on their objective, their personal, everyone's objective.
That's nice. That's nice, because so you're a real advocate for tailor-fitting financial advice to each and every client, and I believe that to be true as well, because it's nice to think that you can fit like a program, one set of program for all of your clients, but in truth, you always have to tweak some parts, eliminate some parts that may not be applicable to this particular client, but may be applicable to like a certain client, because you know that for some they want to retire early, for others they want to keep working, and you also mentioned that you also have business owners and you also help them with their business finance. So aside from financial planning, do you have any other type of services that you're offering your clients?
At this moment, more on like, I think the so-called their business part of financial planning is more on when I explore further with a particular client, then only I notice when you understand them in depth, then only I understand, actually their company's financial, so-called the performance, because not every clients are doing big business like big corporates. If they are in a big corporate environment, they definitely have their own accountants, right? Yes. So those clients, they already being taken care of by themselves already, by having their own finance department or accounting department. Those business owner that is just quite small and medium-sized enterprise where one person have to do many things. So not everyone as a business owner, they have financial background. So this type of clients, they really need add-on, so-called additional service, like, why not you help me to plan certain thing for my company, in terms of I have excess cash, probably you help me to invest at the aspect of the company perspective. Besides handling their personal financial planning. Yeah. So I help them to plan for their company level as well.
That's good too, because so again, you are able to not only provide services for them as an individual, you also are offering your services to their business as well, and making it a very holistic advice for your clients. And and that's really great. And because you are already catering to different stages, is it now? Oh, this is the question. So, because I know that you're catering to different stages, right? But I also read that you're very passionate about youth development and empowerment. So can you tell us more about that and why you're very passionate about this when you're already, catering to different age groups and your clients?
Yeah. So basically, actually, I have been active as a youth since I was in as early as in a university life. When I'm just 23 years old, I have been actively, just right after university, I joined, I think you heard before this Junior Chamber International in Philippines as well, JCI. Yes, in Malaysia. This is an international non-government organizations. So I have been joining these youth organizations for how many years? About 17 years.
That's long, almost 2 decades now.
Yeah, so I start quite early. I've been exposed for this organization quite early. So what about this organization is it built me to who I am today. I would say, you see, if you talk about an internal auditor, if I'm an internal auditor, I personally actually is a back end person. I will not able to. So I'm more an analytical person, meticulous person that always do analysis, about financials, analysis and etc. But today, I can talk to you, so openly and so confidently, is because I've been exposed in these organizations. In this JCI organization for quite some times, and it built me to another person that I'm also an extrovert person already. I even can do presentations. I can give talks. I can give sharings, virtual sharings or physical sharing to corporates and to any platforms now. Yeah. So I feel what I gain from the organizations is enormous, and then I feel happy of what's my achievement today. Partially also because of my involvement in that organization quite early, and now I, as a so-called past president of the organization in my chapter, I try to give back to the society and the community in many ways that I can, regardless. In terms of giving giving talks about financial plannings or doing community project services, giving advices to the new youth, and because now I'm also the so-called advisor and also the senator for the GCI organizations in Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's a pretty big step because, and you mentioned I never pegged you for an introvert as well because you speak so.
Yes, I'm an introvert person last time. I mean, even my uni life, I'm a so-called, I'm more focused, I'm a person that focuses more on academic achievement rather than, give live talks. All this never came across my mind when I was very young. So that's how things develop growing. When we intend to learn more, we intend to get more actually. And of course, when you share more indirectly, able to share is also a blessing.
Yes.
So this is how I look at life. I look at how I able to even coach my clients, not only financially, but sometimes in terms of how to move on with their life meaningfully, with a better purpose or great purpose.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
very
yes.
important for you to have a clear directions in your life.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Because as a financial advisor, I believe that you're not only there to help your clients with their finances. You're also there to be like their cheerleader, because finances are greatly tied to life in general.
Yes, very. People may be emotionally break down because of their financials problems. So all this, it is linked, is part and parcel of life. So it's important to get yourself, build up yourself. When you have a directions, you are able to find ways to support yourself better in terms of financially, emotionally, or physically. Yeah, all these things are very important elements in life.
Yes, I definitely agree. So, Jovi, thanks so much for all of these like knowledge, and I really love how we're able to talk about how you started in the industry, and like how you're supporting your clients, especially during the pandemic. It's very powerful to have all of these.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
this information. And so, before we end the podcast, I'd like to ask you, what are like the top 3 advice that you can give financial advisors who's just starting out in the industry?
All right. I would say when you about to step in this financial planning industry, there's always 2 things you need to ask yourself. Okay. The first why, there's 2 whys. Okay. The first why is why you want to be a financial planner. Okay. The first why. Okay. The second why is why people choose you instead of others. Okay, because when we talk about the first why you want to be a financial planner, find a purpose and meaning in your career. I believe that yes, we are doing financial planning because we want to build a career to earn an income. Is very important. Yes, this is very important. I acknowledge that. But if you can find a purpose and meaning in this career of what you are doing right now, you can go very far, because once you are sincere, people can feel you. Yeah, so this is the things that you need to ask yourself. First thing. The second thing is why people choose you instead of others, because nowadays we can be replaced one day by robo advisor, right?
Yes, there is that movement.
Yes. So now you have to ask yourself, what is the things that within you, that what is the treasure within you that you can give to other people, that people, even though you talk about financial planners, there are almost many of them, and of course now even more challenging when it will soon more robo advisory services coming up. So you have to be different. It can be like, you can ask yourself, is it because of your service? Is it because of your knowledge? Is it because of your attitude? All these things, what are the things that you can make yourself different, that can add value to them, to your clients, for example? So these are the 2 things that I wish the new financial planners who intend to to take this as your career path. Definitely financial planner has a good income and etc., but how to be a different financial planner to be more sustainable and irreplaceable. Yes,
Yes,
that's my advice. Yes.
that's actually the robo advice is something that's a really good topic, and I hope that we can have another conversation with that in the future. But thanks so much for coming into the show,
Thanks
Jovie. Thank you so much for your
thanks for inviting me. Yeah,
yes,
thank you very much.
You're welcome. And like, where can people find you or get to know more about you after listening to this podcast?
Oh, so far, I intend to put in my Facebook.
Okay.
Most of the time, all my talks, we do it live or even we record it and I will post on my Facebook. But how about to get this podcast? Just wondering, so I can share to people, to a wider crowd in future as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, no problem. I'll definitely put in your Facebook information in the podcast description below, and as well as your LinkedIn profile. So thank you so much, Jovie, again for coming into the show. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Same to you. Okay. Bye.